Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jerry Cooey.
I'm Deborah Nelson.
And we are so happy that you've decided to move around the fireplace for our little fireside chat that we're going to have.
Dedicate half an hour.
Dedicate half an hour of your time. And, you know, I've kind of been remiss in my duties. Do want to let our viewers to know that this show is shovel ready. That's the important thing.
We need to emphasize that
we
more often.
we are more shovel ready than any other project that's ever been shovel ready in the history of shovel ready.
Yeah.
We are shovel ready.
We're Pullum quality shovel ready.
We are ready to roll. We have, as you can tell, we have utilities available because the lights are on, the camera's running.
Yeah.
We have water nearby. And we have road access, so we are shovel ready by definition.
So what you're saying is we should be right in line for a large economic development, what would you call that, credit prize?
Well, you know, any way you cut it, you know, I'm okay with a gigantic tax credit or
Credits are good.
Not have to pay property taxes for 10 years or, you know, heck, we'll just take an out-and-out free loan at no interest.
Right.
You know, some grant money would be good.
Just send a big check.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're kidding. One of the ways that you can do this is pay for this out of your own money, and then you don't have to worry about anybody aggravating you about how you run your TV show.
Although if anybody out there would like to place an ad on our show.
Absolutely. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, we have spots available for you. And our cost is anywhere from free to what Channel 3 News charges during the news hour. So, you know, somewhere between $0 and $2,500 for a 30-second ad. You know, just give us a call, and we'll be sure to hook you up.
We're willing to be reasonable.
Well, Deborah, recent story in the newspaper, kind of, and of course, you know, our viewing audience knows that we certainly have discussed Gulf Power rate increases, or power company in particular rate increases.
We have discussed it, but strangely, when I emailed them some months ago, and I asked them a series of questions, I'm still waiting for a response from that end. So the discussion did not extend to Gulf Power's public affairs office.
Well, I guess it kind of falls into the category of you have asked.
I have asked several times.
They chose not to respond,
That
so
is
we'll
correct.
just fill in the blanks for them.
Well, or we could ask the questions here, and maybe somebody at Gulf Power sees a show. Maybe they give us a call.
That is a possibility. Now, ladies and gentlemen, because of you know, the discussion of power companies and things of that nature, we're going to dedicate this show, and probably take us a few minutes to explain it all. But we're going to talk about the Public Services Commission.
Yes.
And the importance of it. In our beautiful sunshine state, which sometimes it shines and sometimes it don't. Hopefully it's shining more than not these days. The power company, the water companies, the cable companies, they're known as franchises. And they're granted areas that they can operate in. And, you know, for example, in Santa Rosa County, you know, Mediacom gets it. In Escambia County, it's Cox Cable. You have the different water authorities. They're all franchisees. And, of course, the power companies are the same way. And telephone companies is another big portion of this. They are certainly regulated by the Public Services Commission. Now,
and I'll just point out that doesn't necessarily mean that they're competitive. A lot of times you've got one company and they're operating as a monopoly. Well,
in most cases that I've looked at, it is virtually always a monopoly.
Right.
Which is certainly bad for the consumer. But we have an organization that is called the Public Services Commission. And theoretically, the Public Services Commission, PSC, and I don't know exactly what their web address is, but you can Google PSC for the state of Florida and you'll find them. They have board members, and you know, They rotate off. They serve right now. It's 2-year terms. The job pays a little over $180,000 a year to be a representative on this board. And what the Public Service Commission is supposed to do is any of these franchisees that we discussed earlier, they're supposed to oversee this. For example, the Bell telephone company comes in and they say, well, in our area, we want to increase, $3 per residential customer, and this is why we need to do it. The Public Services Commission is supposed to overlook it, oversee it, make the decision. They are supposed to be your and I's advocate as a consumer. I think it's when it works properly, it is supposed to be a very good buffer. There is a couple problems in it from personal experience. I can tell you that I don't think they have as much authority as they need to have, just as you have found problems getting certain financial information. The same is true with the Public Services Commission. They may not have the authority to say, I want a complete list of all of your bonuses and a complete list of your special stock options and all of that. And I think that limits them. It puts them in a bad position. To me, a Public Services Commission should have the authority, backed by the legislature, to look at the books, because most of these entities that we're talking about are public/private companies. Some of them are traded on the stock market.
And they're providing vital public services that, especially if they're a monopoly, and they usually are, like you said, people have no choice. They have to have power.
Right.
And they have to have water. They don't have to have cable, but...
Right. And part of the problem is how we are set up, and you're exactly right. And let's talk about that for a moment. If I'm in Santa Rosa County, in everything but a small section in the north end of the county, REA, the Rural Electric Association, is available up there. But anywhere in 85% of the county, I don't have a choice.
Right.
If I want power at my shed or my house or whatever I have, it's Gulf Power.
Right.
Further down in the state, it can be Florida Power and Light, and I think there's a couple more, but there's very distinct boundaries there. They don't cross boundaries. They're not allowed to have any competition. Same thing with the cable company, same thing with the phone company, and that is part of the problem, and it's not the Public Services Commission's job to force competition. They're supposed to oversee rate increases. They are also supposed to make suggestions when there should be decreases in rates.
Right.
They're supposed to look at it both directions.
Right.
And
the problem, just with the electric company side of it, with the power company side of it, the problem is that they're supposed to stay within a certain profit boundary. However, they are not required to swallow the cost of fuels. Right. So if fuels increase in cost, that's an extra. If you look at your bill, that's actually an extra part of your bill that's sort of added on to your bill.
Fuel is separated out.
Right. And that's what the Public Service Commission is. Look, when they say, well, our fuel costs were X, and they generally will check it. Okay, we agree with you. Here, take your rate hike.
Increase, right?
They don't have any way of going through the books, like you said, and confirming that it is indeed fuel costs.
Right. On the operating side is the problem.